Yeah, okay. So today's video is the throwout bearing, starter, and mating the engine to the transmission. I don't think I'm going to do the install because it's going to be a little long. I'll do that next video, and then that'll be my last video, and then I'll be caught up, which is I'm excited for. So that little wedge that was in the video that I didn't know what it was for, that goes on the slave cylinder. Like, it goes on the transmission, and the slave cylinder sits on that. I'm guessing since we changed the pivot point for the throwout bearing, I'm guessing that just like kind of changes it a little or something. I don't know exactly know what it is for, but that's what it goes on. So I probably should have put that on before I installed the engine, because I can't really get to it now. What else? Figured out my whole color grading situation. I actually calibrated my monitor and my TV, and they're both pretty dang close, so now I can actually color grade correctly to what it'll look like on people's screens, which I'm excited for because I've rewatched some of my old videos. Even like the Arizona edit looked kind of like shit because it's just way too weirdly color graded. So I got the starter for pretty cheap. It should work. I'm just throwing it out there right now. I have not tested it to see if it works, but it theoretically should work, because I did have to drill out the holes because they were threaded. I'm not sure why. I'm guessing either the 2J is either you put bolts going through the transmission. I honestly have no idea why it was threaded. So I'm just gonna leave it there, and it should work. Next video will just be the install of the engine to the Rx8 and kind of like an overview of where I'm at, and then I'll be caught up on that. So I'll do that video, and then after that I'll do like my Mini Cooper recap video. And then I'll be all caught up on everything, which I'm kind of stoked on. Yeah, here's the video. Got to work on the throwout bearing block off plate, and it says to add this little like washer. All right, so the piece of paper, this is the only instruction that it came with. Literally just says to put a washer, M10 washer in between the everything in here. So I have to take that apart. So this is the clutch release fork. Literally just holds this whole part in here. So this bolt comes off, and then I'm guessing the washer just kind of spaces it out so it has enough play. Yeah, I'm gonna blow this out. This is it. I don't know if that's focused, but it's absolutely just destroyed, shattered. Tight it actually is. So when I tighten it back on. So this is initially just the pivot point for the clutch release fork. If that makes sense. You know what? Ta-da! So this is all that little guy is. It's the pivot point for that fork. So there's just gonna be a washer. Literally just goes on this, and then it goes right back in. I'm guessing they're just trying to change the pivot point for that. I did impact that on because I've got a feeling this transmission is not gonna last that long. Probably should have put some. Here, actually, I'm gonna take it out and put some thread locker on it. We'll do some red. Cool. So that's what that is for. Now I can put this all back on. All right, and then now, it just goes right back on. Since that's tapered, it should just go right on. No, I did. Just like that. Probably should have lubed up the... Yeah, so just shoved right on, which is sweet. I'm gonna have to lube up the shaft. So I'm just gonna not pack, but just put a little bit on the input shaft. I don't know if that's supposed to have play like that. This thing has so much play right here. I'm gonna do some research before I mount everything, but I'll do that last. I'm gonna do the block off plate with the there's this little tiny bolt that goes down here. I'm guessing this little bolt goes into this guy right here. I'm gonna put some blue Loctite on this one. Cool. Now the transmission can go on and the bolts just go around. I want to double check with that throwout bearing because I think that's kind of wonky. That thing shouldn't be having that much movement. So I'm just gonna go with it. I'm pretty sure that's how it's supposed to go. Because if you think about it, the clutch is gonna be spinning, right? Which is gonna turn this, put pressure on this, and this is never gonna like go back, you know? So it's always gonna keep pressure on that. And it might disengage and then like have a tiny bit of play, but I think that's normal. Everything else functions totally fine. So I'm just gonna roll with it. If it blows up, then I'll just buy a new one, I guess. So I got this starter off of partsgeek.com because it's really cheap. It was probably like half the price of one I was looking at. It's refurbished. I just said it was off a 97 Supra. The starter's threaded and this adapter's threaded. How the fuck does that work? I'm gonna have to drill these out. These are threaded. This thread pattern is totally different from the starter. Shit! Maybe if I drill out the starter, run the bolts through, have these bolts. If I drill these out that way, bolts going this way. There's no shot you bolted from in here because you were not gonna be able to get to it. And then we just catch them there. Yeah, problem solved. This could work or it could end up like fucking things up, so. And I'd rather just try it and see. The plug's the same, I just checked it. So I'm really just gonna drill these. It's close. Perfect. Sweet. All right, we're chilling. So now, this thing's binding a little bit on the, I'm gonna make the holes just a tiny bit bigger. And it fits perfect. So I'm thinking maybe some of the maybe the 2J is different. 2J might be able to reach it from this way, you know, like from the transmission side of it. Cool. That goes on. That's all done. I can mount the tranny. All right, so here's this so far. It looks pretty damn good. Yeah, everything plugged in with the starter, so that's totally fine. I don't know, I'm guessing just the 1J, 2J, like this isn't threaded and it goes in the other way, you know? So I just drilled that out, it works fine. I'm gonna get a few pictures of it because it just looks so sexy right here. And I'll just post those after this right here. I might actually get some B-roll too because this just looks so cool. So here's a B-roll sequence too. gonna turn this guy 180. I am just taking this off because I'm just gonna try and realign it. Something's not right, it's not going in. I fiddled with it for like 20 minutes. Hopefully this fucking works. Let's fucking try that. Oh, it was that. Thank God, look at that. Alright, hopefully, I hope this mic's recording good. So I'm gonna have to like figure out how to like overlay the music, like the audio to the clip, and then like align it, and then somehow bind the two video and audio clips, because I cut a lot of my audio out because I have weird spaces in between when I'm talking. I don't know why, but I do, and I cut it out so it makes the video shorter and it just sounds better. So yeah, that's it for this video. Not much else to say. There's definitely some other things I would have done before I put the engine in, looking back on it, so I might pull it out again and redo some stuff. It'll just be easier. It's less of a headache to try to move around all the tight points in the engine bay. Yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I post every Wednesday,